guys, welcome back to the S.U.R.E Parenting Podcast, where every mom deserves to feel sure of her parenting. I'm your host, Sammy Bell, creator of S.U.R.E Parenting and author of S.U.R.E Parenting, Building Blocks to Create Their Best Childhood. Here on the podcast, we address the issues that make moms question themselves or their kids, and we discuss creative solutions that meet the needs of each unique mother and child. Let's dive in. This week, we're going to address one of the questions that came up in our Facebook group, Empowering Moms to Uplift Kids. The post reads as follows: any advice for helping to change or shape my 5-year-old's inner voice? To be honest, I haven't always been good at parenting. I have a quick temper and a terrible negative inner voice. I've had moments, especially when my postpartum depression and anxiety was really bad, where I've snapped cruel things at him. The same cruel things my mom used to say to me. Why are you like this? What were you thinking? You're out of control. Why are you so bad? You need to think. The past year or two, I've really been working on myself and learning to parent, but everything I read says it's too late. He's already developed his inner voice and the damage is done. I've been working really hard lately to give him specific positive praise. I love what you made. You're so creative and colorful. Or great job sharing with your brother. You have such a kind heart. Still, I see my negativity in him when he's frustrated, and he will say things like, I'm the worst boy. I'm so bad. I'm ugly. I've never said those things to him, but I know they're an extension of the things that I have said to him in the past. He's very stubborn, emotional, and temperamental, just like me. I'm worried my parenting has made him this way, not just genetics. I've had a few very frank conversations with him where I've apologized and told him I'm learning to be a better mommy. I told him the way I used to treat him is unacceptable, and I'm working on it every day. I'm just worried I've set him up to be negative, an unhappy person, the way I was and my parents. Is it too late? Now, just reading this post could make me cry because I feel this so deeply. When I had my first, I had severe postpartum depression and anxiety, and it is a horrible, horrible place to live. When you have postpartum depression and anxiety, you are not yourself. And especially years later, that can feel like a cop-out or an excuse, but it's just the truth. And you will do things and say things that you can't stand looking back. And that doesn't mean you're a bad mom. That doesn't mean that you've ruined everything and there's no hope. It means that you went through a really trying time, and so did your kids, and you got out of it. You survived. You're healing and you're getting better every day. And it really helps both parties to focus on that positive. I love that this mom is sharing her journey with her son, and she's saying like, hey, I am working to be a better mommy. It's hard work, dude, and I am not great at it all the time, and I'm working on it. And this is so impactful for our kids to see us actively choosing to do differently. It makes such a massive difference. When you are talking about the idea of, is it too late? The answer is no. It's never too late. The studies that I've seen and the psychologists that I've listened to speak on the matter say that a lot of the unconscious beliefs are developed by age 7. So not 5, but 7. But even still, if you look at all of us, we are healing every day. We are changing unconscious beliefs. We are overwriting that programming and doing better and becoming better. So why wouldn't that apply to our kids? You absolutely can go back later and change the dynamics and change the relationship and create something different that you like better. It's definitely possible. One thing that I would note is that there is a big temperament piece of this. A perfectionist child will say things like, I'm so stupid, I suck, things like that you're like, what on earth? Even if you've never said anything like that, they will say things like that because that's their nature. They want things to be perfect. They expect that of themselves, and they're very hard on themselves. And that is just genetics. And what we work on with those kids is growth mindset. And for this mama, it would be so helpful to work on growth mindset for herself and with her son at the same time. because our brains can change and we can change patterns we don't like, and we can grow and we can learn. And, if you suck at riding your bike, okay, I hear that you're really frustrated about your ability to ride your bike. Why don't we practice so that we can get better at that? All right, guys, so I went and grabbed my daughter who woke up from her nap, so you might hear her. I'm going to go ahead and finish this podcast anyway because I think it needs to be out there. So I would absolutely address the growth mindset piece and really work together on those challenges as they arise. So what's happening is that whenever this little guy is saying these things like, I'm so bad, I'm so stupid, mom is immediately blaming herself, and she's taking it super personally, and that is causing extra anxiety, and it's clouding her emotional vision to the point where she can't look at that situation and take it down a notch. To her, it feels like proof and evidence that she screwed up her sweet boy and he would be better had she not made these mistakes in the past. And what I encourage her to do is to take what he said at face value and then take it down a notch. What can she translate this into? So, I'm so stupid. Oh, you're really frustrated that this isn't easy for you. Some things are really hard at first, and the more that we practice and the more that we learn, the easier they get. And whenever we do something new, there's a chance that it's going to be really tricky. I know when I've learned new things, they've been really hard when I first start, and then a couple months later, they're way easier for me. So what could we do to practice the skills that we need so that this can be easier? And really walk it through with him a few times so that he understands what's happening, because he's looking to you for feedback. He's looking to you saying, when he says, I'm so stupid, he's basically saying, am I stupid? And if you are feeling super guilty and uncomfortable, he may misinterpret that. If you are over the top with, no, you're not stupid, don't say that. As much as those words are telling him, of course, that he's not stupid, there's an emotional panic there that confirms his emotional distress. So if we can separate ourselves from that, take note of it, acknowledge it. Ooh, I've got some black journaling to do because there are some triggers there that broke my heart. I hate hearing that. But right now, what this little guy needs is a calm, confident leader to hear him and validate him and empathize with him and help him solve his problem. So, wow, I hear that you are feeling really frustrated right now. I hear that you're really, really upset right now. This is way harder than you thought it'd be. You wish you could do it easier. And then move forward to the solution. What can we do to make this easier? Would you like some help? Do you want to watch a video on this subject so you feel like you understand it a little better? Come up with ideas, because ultimately there's always a solution, right? When we are frustrated and we are yelling too much and we want to stop yelling so much, we have options. We have the ability to take a class or to get mentoring or set up a call or read certain books. We have things that we can do to move forward in the direction of our goal. When your kiddo is super frustrated with whatever it is, it's likely that he feels he should be perfect at things, and maybe that was exacerbated a little bit by some of the comments that you made in the past. But you know what? Those are done. We can't change those. So let's not dwell on them. Let's move forward productively. I do think it's important to acknowledge where we are wrong. If we do something or say something that is inconsiderate or rude or inappropriate, it's very important that we then say to our child, hey, you know what? I shouldn't have said that. I handled that poorly. This is how I would have liked to handle it. This is how I'm going to handle it moving forward. And if we are able to do that for our kid, we're showing him our own problem-solving skills. We're showing him our own growth mindset. If we're sitting there beating ourselves up and saying how terrible we are and how awful of a parent we've been and how we regret so much, well, we're doing the same thing that we're concerned he's doing. We don't want to model that negative self-talk either. We want to help them to be happy with the things that they've accomplished and to work towards the things that they're still working towards, and show them what it looks like to work towards our own goals and to acknowledge our own areas that need improving so that we can do better. We all have them, myself included. That's not going to change. I think it's important to recognize that we're all going to say things that we shouldn't say. We are all going to have areas that we wish we were more of a natural at. For some of us, peaceful, respectful, gentle, sure parenting does not come easy. It is the opposite of what we knew, and for a lot of stuff, we feel like we're winging it. And it's okay if you're feeling that way. It's okay if you're feeling frustrated and overwhelmed and just wish it was easier. I hear you. That's valid. And I'm so proud of you that you are working so hard to make a better childhood for your kid. That takes guts. You are showing your child what it looks like to stop midstream and change tracks, to realize like, hey, I thought this is the way that things were going to go, and I've learned new information, and I'm changing the direction of our family. And it's so important that I'm willing to fight hard for this change. You're showing them that, and that's inspiring. So, of course, all is not lost. And of course, part of this is just his personality. And I think you're doing a really great job by acknowledging where you might do better and being super real and honest with him about it. I think working on growth mindset together could be a huge boon for the two of you. And I think that overall, he's going to be just fine. I think that you guys are working in the right direction. And the more that you learn and the more that you grow and the more that you heal yourself, the more that you heal him too, because we are all connected. With that, thank you so much for listening today, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Have a good one, mamas.